Suppose you want to find the area of one wall of a room. If the room is x feet wide and x feet high, the area of the wall would be x feet times x feet, or x square feet.
Square walls. Wow, you can use exponents to write expressions that represent real-world situations. I can actually figure out how much paint I'll need to buy. Now, all I need is a paintbrush.
So, an example, pretend like I'm making Harley a nice little, or painting her a wall in her cage. And this is one of her walls, okay? And it was 2 feet by 2 feet. How can I find the area of this? Well, some of you may remember an area, the formula for it is base times height. So if my base is 2 and my height is 2, 2 times 2 will give me 4. Okay, so looking down here, if this is my base and they're saying my base is x and my height is also x, well, if my area is base times height, x multiplied by x is equal to x squared. So x squared would give me my area for this lovely little rectangular square.
Suppose you want to paint a room that has 4 walls. Each wall is a square wall with side length 10 feet. 1 gallon of paint will cover about 400 square feet. Will 1 gallon of paint be enough to give the room 2 coats of paint?
So we know that we have 4 walls. Okay, so go and write 4 walls. Each wall has a square wall with one side, oh, that was bad, I'm sorry. One side length of 10. So I'm going to draw this off. So if I have 10 here, that means I'll have 10 here and 10 all the way around because a square has equal sides. So if this is 10 feet, all my sides will be 10 feet. All right. They want to know 1 gallon of paint. Okay, well, 1 gallon of paint covers 400 square feet. Well, that means I need to find my area, which is equal to my base times my height. They want to know is 10 times 10, which is 100 for my one wall, is 100 feet one wall. How can I figure out how many 4 walls will be? Well, 100 times 4. Okay, so if I have 100 times 4, this will give me my 4 walls, 400 feet. Well, this is just 1 coat of paint. So is this going to be enough paint? If 1 gallon of paint will cover 400 square feet, is that enough paint for 2 coats? No, it is not. You will need to double that. Okay, so the solution says you need to know the dimensions of one wall, and we know that because it was 10. We know that the area of 1 gallon of paint, you know, how much paint we can use for one wall. We need to know the area of one wall and the total area to be painted. So write an algebraic expression to describe the area of one wall. Find the total area of the 4 walls is the next step. Okay, so down here they found first find the area of one wall. 10 squared is equal to 100 square feet because 10 times 10 is 100. 10 is the side length of 1 square. Then we need to multiply that by 4 because they're saying there are 4 walls that need to be painted. Well, 400 square feet, boys and girls, we need to multiply that by 2 because we want 2 coats of paint, which is 800. Is 400 enough to cover 800? No. 1 gallon of paint will cover 400, which means we need 2 of those, 2 gallons of paint. Okay, so go ahead and explain that in your own words on your paper. On to part 3.
You want to buy new carpet for another room. The room measures 12 feet by 12 feet. If the carpet cost $8 per square foot, how much would the new carpet cost?
So go ahead and solve this. The room measures 12 feet by 12 feet. So you need to find the area of this rectangle, and you need to multiply that by 8. So go ahead and find your base times your height. Well, your base and your height are both 12. What's 12 times 12? And then you need to multiply that number by 8. Here are your answer choices. I would like to see all of your work on your paper. Call me over if you need help. Freeze your screen. Freeze it. Solve it. Freeze it. The correct answer should be 12 squared was 144, so your area is 144 square feet. You then need to multiply that by 8 because it was $8 per square foot. And you should get $1,152 for your total.